Good afternoon, Professor and class. This is Giovanni. In our textbook, Economics of the Public Sector, we are told that the market may fail under six reasons. Those reasons being failure of competition, public goods, externalities, incomplete markets, information failures, and unemployment. For my presentation, I will touch upon public goods and how the government intervened to produce a good. According to our text, there are certain goods that the market won't provide, or if it does, not enough of it will be produced. Now, in order for it to qualify as a public good, it must meet two properties. First, it will not cost nothing for additional persons to enjoy its benefits, meaning that the 1 million person enjoying the fruits of the product will not pay more than the first one. And the second, it is difficult or even impossible for an individual to be excluded from enjoying the public goods. One great example of this is space exploration. The knowledge, technological advancements, and scientific discoveries that space exploration has developed is enjoyed and beneficial for all. It is non-excludable, meaning that no one is excluded. This makes the knowledge from space exploration a public good. Some of the technologies that we enjoy today are a byproduct of space exploration, such as GPS navigation, satellite TV and internet, portable X-ray machines, and improvements in MRI imaging techniques. Even heart pumps were inspired by NASA's rocket fuel pumps. Now, the reason why space exploration was initially a market failure is numerous. First, private companies had little to no incentive, especially because of its enormous cost and the likelihood, and actually the unlikelihood of any profits. Also, at that time, it was more than likely that no profits were going to be made. And lastly, there was no real demand for it. In other words, it failed to meet the criteria of supply and demand from the open markets. Since the market failed, the government stepped in. In order to create the market for space exploration, certain provisions, another word for it is resources, was needed. Those resources was funding, money, paid for by taxes. On July 29, 1958, Congress passed the National Aeronautics and Space Act, also known as NASA. So in other words, NASA was created. This act provided NASA with $89 million on its first year, which is equivalent to about $950 million in today's markets. Now we could thank inflation for that. Now, NASA had the provisions to be able to produce something. With provisions in place, NASA was able to launch its first satellite in 1958, landing man on the moon in 1969, and launch its first space shuttle in 1981. All of these advancements led to new technologies that we enjoy, as I mentioned earlier 3 slides ago. With the initial market created by the federal government, the private sector has now taken over. In other words, it has grabbed onto the reins. And a great example of that will be SpaceX and Blue Origin. Now, what lies ahead? We don't know yet. Only time will tell. With that, this brings it close to my presentation. And I would like to end this with a quote. Innovations in science and technology are the engines of the 21st century economy. If you care about the wealth and health of your nation tomorrow, then you better rethink how you allocate taxes to fund science. The federal budget needs to recognize this. Neil deGrasse Tyson. With that, I wish you all a blessed week. I'm looking forward to looking at your video presentation and commenting on it. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.